Welcome to an all-new Nerds to Men. I am Brad Reed, and I'm joined by Cameo, who is so glad to be here and, looks up to me on a daily basis to guide him and show him the
I think
way.
he just called you short.
He is short. Look at me. Look, I'm a whole two feet taller than you. Still taller. And Buck Berlin, owner and operator of New World Comics, where we are right now. Buck, tell everybody about the store, where it is.
The store's here in Oklahoma City. We are at 6219 North Meridian. We are just south of Northwest 63rd Street.
And you got a big day coming up this Saturday.
Yes, we do.
I want to talk to you a couple of things about the store before we get into the podcast, really. And for those of you who are listening, on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple iTunes Podcast, YouTube, all that, we appreciate it. But you also should cruise by our Facebook page and check out the videos. But I want to ask you a couple of things real quick about Batman, and we'll talk more about it later on. But you guys are you guys the first ones that ever did Batman Day?
Yeah, we started Batman Day.
And now it's a national thing.
Yeah, now it's a national thing.
Now, how did that come up?
Well, there was a thing that came to town called Batman Live, and we, my wife took me to it, and it was really made for kids. But looking at all the stuff, it was like, man, we could do a lot of cool stuff in the shop. Just looking at that and looking at that, and they were doing a thing called Halloween Comic Fest at the time that was just not working at all for us.
Right.
So we took that day, that we were going to be giving out free comics, all that stuff, and we just made it all Batman themed.
Right.
And at the time, we had a rep at DC. His name was Pat O'Connell, and I sent him pictures and was like, "Hey, man, we're doing all this, Batman stuff. Do you have anything lying around the office that you could send to us and help pass out, do that kind of thing?" And he had little Batman buttons and Robin buttons and posters, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we sent him pictures, and he was like, "Man, if this works again next year, let us know." So we did it again and showed him, and then it became a thing. Like they don't give us the credit or anything, but
they should.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to give you the credit.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Well, I wanted to bring it up. You guys do superhero schools. And this week, in lieu of superhero school, right, it's all about Batman Day.
Yeah. And we're going to have every different Batman of every era.
Right. So it's
here
kind of like a superhero school.
Yeah, but it's going to be throughout the entire day.
Right.
So,
what are the hours for that?
We're going to be open from 11 to 7.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we're going to have a sale going on all day. We're going to have Batman-themed everything, like around the store, even outside the store.
Oh, cool.
Usually there's a certain famous crime scene that people can stumble upon.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
We're going to have Jerry here doing sketches.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to work, or else I'd be out here to harass Jerry just for
right?
that purpose.
Don't worry, I'll harass him enough.
You should never harass him after he gave you that awesome drawing of
I don't think that
Childish
Jerry,
Gambino.
Yeah, that was awesome. As
Lando.
Lando, yeah. My job since I've been a young child has been to harass Jerry.
Oh, yeah?
So he would probably not know what to do if I, stopped doing
Was
that.
just nice to him all the time?
Yeah. He'd be like, who is this guy that replaced Brad Reed? But anyway, so Batman Day, that's September 16th, right?
September 15th.
Oh, it is the 15th. Okay.
Yeah.
Saturday, the 15th, coming up this week. So come out here for that. And then, what is another superhero school in a couple more weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks out from that, we're going to have The Flash.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, sweet. So, New World Comics Facebook page. They also have the New World Comics podcast. And later on, we're going to get into like our favorite Batman in the movies and actually some of your favorite Batman comics.
Oh, man.
In honor of Batman Day. But if you really want to dive deep into comics and your thoughts on them and your friends' thoughts, people who work at the store, friends of the store, the New World Comics podcast is definitely a great podcast for, the deep dive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
or just, listen to, the more intense nerdy talk.
Yeah. And always ends with a hilarious shop story.
Yes.
Which I found out, and we're going to get into this in a little bit too, because the Spider-Man game came out.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Phil Spider-Man.
I always have to say it like my uncle or something, Spider-Man. But Cameo, you'll want to know this.
Okay.
There are several hidden Spider-Man all over the store. And last night I searched and only found like 5 of them. So how many are there total?
I think there are 14. I'll just I'll find a little Spider-Man figure or even a big Spider-Man figure. And just
there's one for you.
And I'll put them around the store. Like there's some that are hanging underneath shelves or behind things. They're just kind of.
Well,
and not the ones that are in the boxes that you have.
No, it doesn't count any in-package figures, but
see Spider-Man on the exit sign. Yeah. So those are the only 2 I'll give you. I did find Carmen Sandiego though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
she moves around. She
does.
She is for sale. Oddly enough.
This has been a great ad for New World Comics.
Yeah.
But one more thing before we talk about our next sponsor. So I did the superhero school with you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I found out about the Amazos.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of like an insider deal.
Yeah, and it's for everyone who's participated in superhero school. So you'll get to go this year.
I want to win the worst.
Man, that's the thing is everyone either doesn't want that to be a category or they want it so badly.
I want it badly, and so I was kind of curious. I mean, I don't know. Since it's just us and this isn't a podcast and nobody watches it or listens. Where am I in the race for worst?
You're not really even close because honestly, your costume came out looking pretty good.
But my wig was horrible.
Yeah, but
on purpose. But
it kind of fit with the character, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there photos of this?
Yeah, you can find them right here. That's something I like to do on the
internet. And I had purposefully not shown any photos, but we are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great time. I love superhero school. All right, let's talk about your weekend plans. You got to make those now. You can paint and be merry at Paint and Cheers. They're in the heart of the Plaza District. 2 p.m. Saturdays, you can enjoy bottomless sangrias. 2 p.m. Sundays, they have bottomless mimosas. I know.
I like that.
They should bring us some bottomless mimosas right now.
Just saying.
And then every Thursday, it's Thirsty Thursday. They got $2 Boda Box wine. So I know people love that. You don't even have to be artistic to go and paint. You'll feel like an artist in the awesome Paint and Cheer studios. They have date night, ladies night, large parties. Everyone is welcome. So reserve your seats right now at paintandcheers.com. I say we get into the podcast.
Let's do it.
Woo, let's do it.
Over here, like looking around for the Spider-Man.
I know.
There's one right there.
I know. Yeah. It's driving me nuts, which is a punchline to a dirty joke. All right, let's go.
I know that one.
Before we get into everything, I do want to talk about Iron Fist. It came out on Netflix.
Yep.
I've only watched the first 3 episodes, so that's all we'll talk about. We won't spoil it for anybody, really, but I'll say...
but what about that one thing?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that one thing.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Scandalous.
I'll say that from the first episode on, you can tell that the fight scenes are better.
Yes.
Oh, all of it's better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah. I think really what kind of came off to me in the first season was... The fight scenes looked really choreographed, and you want it to look more natural.
Yeah,
and so this one looked a lot better, a little less choreographed. A lot of exposition though in this show. Like by the end of the 3rd episode, there's a good fight scene, but it took a long time to get there.
See, I think that they're trying to cover up some past sins.
Yeah.
Like it's the all right, guys, we're really sorry.
Right.
So we're gonna make sense of this world. And here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typhoid Mary, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
I like her. I like her character so far. A little bit of layers to peel back on that. What else stood out to you guys?
Well, I mean, pretty much what you just said. I think I'm on episode 7 now, but the first 3 episodes, I got a question. Okay, so whenever they got whenever they were looking for the this bowl, and they went to the art cellar.
Yeah.
So Joy was filming her and Davos.
Yes.
Did she use that? Because that was like
I think so.
nothing was ever said.
I think
about that.
I think it's just implied that
Understood.
they did that and that's how they got the thing. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I was like, because nobody said anything about it, so I was just like, did she like blackmail her with this?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I need to know. But
At least that's what I inferred.
yeah.
So.
Well, Davos, I really like him.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
He's intense.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and
He's a really good bad guy.
yeah, he is.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I like him.
I haven't, like I said, I've only been on episode 7,
Yeah,
and he might be up there with some of my top villains.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
Wow.
and apparently it's a shorter season 2.
Yeah.
Which I think is really smart because most of the Netflix series so far, I thought we could trim out like 2 or 3 episodes.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. There's usually some kind of filler episode. I remember, what was it, like season 1 of Luke Cage? It was like going so good, and then it was like an episode where they go off somewhere else, and and there was important things to the story, but it was like I could have got that in a little, and mixed into one of the other episodes,
Right.
Yeah.
and it wouldn't have killed the momentum.
Jessica Jones season 2 was a whole filler season. Man,
Yeah, that's true.
that was pretty bad.
This one does not replace Luke Cage season 1 or 2 as
Nope.
my favorite so far.
No, not at all.
Or the Daredevil,
For me, it almost kind of replaces season 1. Like it just kind of does.
definitely.
That. Guys, we're real sorry about season
Yeah.
1. So here you go. Just go with this.
Yeah.
The episode that I ended on, I believe they all sat down to dinner to hash out their
Oh yeah.
differences, and I just thought, this is weird. Like, let's all go to dinner to tell each other how mad we are at each other.
It gets awesome.
Well, I
Yeah.
will say this about Davos because we all know that he wants to be the Iron Fist
Right.
and all that stuff, but the way he goes about it kind of makes me mad.
It kind of reminds me of like how you always think that you should be me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
I'm the Iron Fist, you're the Davos.
no. I'm Luke Cage.
And Buck is Colleen.
Take what I can get, man.
Which, can you do the little cat purr sound like when people say, like somebody's hot or something? Can you do that? Like, or whatever? Yeah, okay,
That-
ready? Colleen Wing. There you go. That's all I got to say about Colleen.
Oh wait, you haven't gotten there yet, so never mind. I won't say
Wait,
anything.
go ahead.
No.
Oh, is it an episode after 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So never
Well,
mind.
we'll wait. We'll
Yeah.
wait and
Yeah,
get
cool. That's
kind
fine
of
with me.
check
It's,
in with
it's
everybody.
nothing big, but I mean.
So how many episodes are there total? Do we
10.
10.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're almost done. So
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Where
All
you
right.
at in it?
We finished 7 or 8.
Oh yeah. I knew we were going to do 1 through 3, and so I watched 3 today. But I can't wait to get further into it.
Yeah, it gets better.
Okay, another thing that I'm not too far into, but I can't wait to get so far. Cameo posted a picture. I think you got it on Friday, right? You
Thursday.
Got the,
Thursday night.
He got the Spider-Man PS4.
Mm-hmm.
The Spider-Man edition,
Yes.
and then the game. Is it the deluxe version of the game?
Yeah. You get the 3 alternate suits right off the bat. The
Right.
Spider-Man or Iron Spider. You get Punk Spider or Spider Punk.
Yeah.
And then you get a new suit. I forget the Velocity suit, which is basically made for this game. It's not in any other
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
Man. So Buck can't play it because he's on the Xbox.
Ho hum.
Man, can somebody send him a PS4,
Please.
and the game?
And time to play it.
Yes. We're not magic makers here, Buck.
Well,
Yeah. We can only do so much.
So far, okay, before I even got the game, because I waited till Sunday and then I got it. And I didn't get the deluxe version because it was $20 more. And I was like, if I really feel like I need that, I'll just buy the add-on.
Yeah.
But the costumes look dope. I kind of wish those were just a separate add-on, which
Yeah.
they might. Are they? Do you know?
Well, yeah, you can, like, each mission, you'll do stuff and they'll unlock. But you
okay.
have to get, like, your backpack tokens, your challenge tokens,
okay.
your
So
science tokens. Yeah, so
you can get them.
Yeah, you can get them.
You
but
just
you have
took
to,
the easy route.
well, Yeah. let me tell you what happened though. So when I got my game, I got home at like around 9:30 and plugged it all up, let it load and do all that stuff. Well, I opened up the game and it's supposed to have a voucher with the code on it with the whole DLC that I got, like the 3 skins, my
you weren't getting 4
avatar.
skins?
No, I got 3 skins.
Did they do that on purpose, I wonder? We can't give them 4.
Right. So anyways.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
So I open it up.
No nanas in this show.
And I'm about to put the code in and realize in the box where the code is supposed to be, it's blank. There's nothing in there.
You got.
I did. So I call GameStop where I got it. And they were like, well,
I could just see Cameo. Give me a manager.
Man, I was so mad. Because I wanted to play as the Iron Spider. That's one of my favorite suits. So I did. So I called GameStop. They were like, oh, well, we can't really do anything. Call PlayStation. All right. So I called PlayStation. And they were like, well, GameStop is supposed to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, they told me to call you.
Man.
So I'm calling you guys. And 3-4 days later, or when I talked to them, they asked for the email. They asked me to email them like the copy of my receipt, the front and the back of the voucher that has the code on it. So I did that and finally got the code today. But all that was on Friday.
Yeah.
And so I had already unlocked the suits that I could have gotten.
Right.
But I didn't make them because I was like, man, I'm just going to wait to see if I can, get these skins.
Yeah.
Well, finally got it today, and I had extra, tokens to like unlock anything and everything else. So it was pretty cool. So
okay, so it at least made up for it.
It did make up for it.
Okay, cool.
And it didn't take away my experience from the game. I mean, the game is amazing. It reminds me of the Arkham series.
It does and it doesn't, though.
Right.
Because I feel like, and that was one of the things when I hadn't bought it over the weekend, but I was looking at some of my friends' reviews of it, and they were like, it's not Arkham enough. And I was like, oh, no.
Well, but
no.
Yeah, Spider-Man shouldn't be
Right.
Batman.
And that's what I told Brad.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said, Brad. It's
But it plays, okay, so like the things I like about Arkham with the, the open, whatever you call it, maps and all that. I like that part. And I love the graphics. But I feel like this game does a better job than even Arkham of integrating the story into the fight scenes. Because there's times in Arkham where, you're just fighting and then there's no story until you're done fighting. And all that. This one keeps it going, I feel like.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's cool, too, because I was watching a review of people talking about how the game, and there's like these little side missions or these little break-ins or robberies. They're like, well, it kinds of get repetitive. But I'm like, how can it not? There's always going to be a car chase. There's always going to be a drug dealer. There's always going to be somebody breaking into something. So it's just
and
like...
Arkham's the same way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I don't know, man. I really like this game, so I can't wait to play more of it. The little puzzles, the Peter Parker puzzles, were like, but it's whatever. I can see
Peter Parker puzzles.
Yeah, like just different things he has to do, like fix a like a electrical converter or something like in his shop or whatever.
Okay, so nothing that would be actually hard for it. Like
it's really
have
not
a normal,
hard.
Have a normal conversation with someone. Like,
yeah, I'm puzzled by how to talk to women.
Yeah,
which I am. But I was when I was playing it, I was like, well, yeah, but this would be cool for like my nephews or something. They would probably enjoy that. Like I'm like, let's get back to fighting. So that's that. Spider-Man, great game so far. I love it.
Very, very.
Somebody said that they knew the ending and it was disappointing, but it's like everybody's going to say something, like that.
Yeah.
So it just...
Well, and I mean, some of these games, like, it doesn't really matter what the ending is because you're going to be playing it afterwards.
Right.
Like I remember Spider-Man 2, way back when, like, the story mode wasn't the most amazing, but just swinging around.
Yeah.
There were times that, I'd get home and just swing.
Do you remember the old...
That's what I used to do on Web of Shadows.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old game where all you did was kind of crawl up the building and go right or left? It was like it was almost like Spider-Man and Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to play the crap out of that like all the time. So, but this is definitely better than that. All right, so Spider-Man, that game is awesome. Let's get to Batman Day. It is coming up September 15th, this Saturday. And then if you're watching this after September 15th, a year from now, but because it's annual.
It is annual.
Is it always on? Well, I guess it would depend because it's on a Saturday.
It was going to be the 22nd this year, but they moved it up a week for no reason. But
gotcha.
So we're scrambling, but we're going to have an amazing day.
I can't wait. So because of that, and guess what? I was looking around, and we're not the first podcast to do this.
Yeah, we are.
But we're the best. Let's talk about the Batman movies.
Okay.
Okay. Just because, I love talking about the Batman movies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it is Batman Day. So I thought we'd give out kind of our top 3 Batmans in the movies. Like, so just for instance, my top Batman is still Michael Keaton.
Right.
So that's my number 1. Cameo?
Michael Keaton.
All right.
I have to go Michael Keaton just because it's the reason that I'm here.
Yes.
With all of this.
So is it nostalgia for us?
I think it because if you go back and watch it, it's a fun movie. It's not a great movie, and honestly, Batman Returns, parts of it are an absolute train wreck.
Yeah.
It's oh man. There's no reason for them to have conflict. Why are we? Okay, well, let's just go with it. It's interesting. Do we go with who made the better Batman or who made the better Bruce Wayne or who made because honestly, Ben Affleck makes a great Bruce Wayne and an okay Batman.
I agree with that.
Yep.
And, Christian Bale kind of splits the difference and does incredibly well on that. So
yeah, I feel like Michael Keaton. That was just a great film. It was Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and
right.
All we had seen before that was the goofy version of Batman with the TV show, but the Batman movie also kind of gave us, I feel like, the animated series.
Yes, it most definitely
which was a great blessing. Thank you.
Yes.
So, was Michael Keaton? I think he was the best of both. He was a good Batman, a good Bruce Wayne. Like George Clooney.
No.
I think he was decent as a decent Bruce Wayne, but
No,
not a great Batman.
He was so dry that it wasn't even funny.
Well, okay. Riddle me this.
Okay.
Do you include Kevin Conroy?
We can.
Okay.
Okay. Then honestly, he's the best Batman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Kevin
So
Conroy.
he's your number 1.
Yeah. Love the Michael Keaton stuff. Everything is here because of what they did in that movie. Mm-hmm. Kevin Conroy's the better Batman.
He's a better Bruce.
He's the first to give a different voice between Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good call. I like that. Okay. So who's your number 2, Buck? You're gonna go with the Keats?
Yeah, I'll go Keaton, and then Christian Bale's he brought a method to the madness.
He did.
Yeah, I would say Christian Bale's my number 2. But see, I have a weird thing about that is I feel like Christian Bale is just a great actor, so anything he could do, he's going to be great in. I don't, and he was in probably, The Dark Knight, or was probably the best Batman movie.
Think of it this way: Val Kilmer is a great actor. Well, was a great actor.
He was really only great in one movie, great in one movie.
All right, that's fair.
And that wasn't Batman.
And that was A Salton Sea. Tombstone.
Yeah,
Tombstone was awesome.
We never talk about that movie up here.
Salton Sea was a good movie, though. So what was your number 2, Cameo?
Well, if we're doing Conroy, then Keaton's number 2.
Ooh, yeah. Well, so you're putting Conroy at number 1 and Keaton at 2?
Yeah.
All right. I'm still going to say Keaton 1 and then Bale 2. And I love Kevin Conroy, but I'm leaving him out because it's the cartoon voice and not.
He was in a movie.
He was.
Oh, that's true.
Mask of the Phantasm.
That's right.
What about Job? He was in a movie. Not, his name wasn't Job. Well, Will Arnett,
No, see,
the Batman Lego movie.
Yeah, I mean he's good and all, but he's not.
No,
you know.
I'm just kidding. He was. That was a a spoof.
Well, but I mean that's the thing is it's still a recognizable Batman. Like
Yeah.
it's honestly, kind of the truest form of Batman because it recognizes all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
My third, and I have a love-hate with him because I loved him as Batman and Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck, but I'm kind of PO'd about the fact that he doesn't seem to really want to be Batman. So I'm like, off with you then.
The thing,
I thought he was awesome.
I think he does want to be Batman. He just doesn't want to put up with all the stuff that it takes to be Batman.
True. Well,
see, the thing is, you should have seen that and how crazy these people are at Comic-Cons.
what if Ben Affleck was in like Christopher Nolan directed Batman? Would he then be like, yes, let's do it?
I don't know. He might have the same
Well,
deal.
the thing is, I think with the Christopher Nolan ones, they weren't like, oh, let's create a movie universe. They were like, hey, make a good Batman movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it's the, hey, create this thing that's going to be part of everything else, and you'll have to worry about not only your movie, but the other movies that come after it, or something that came before it now has already molded what is to come out of your movie.
I guess that would leave the rest of my list would be Kevin Conroy, Adam West, probably George Clooney, then Val Kilmer.
Wow.
So what was your
George Clooney go before Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Val Kilmer
You just
fan.
like the nipples. That's it.
Oh yeah, I love the nips. Thanks, Joel Schumacher. Cameo, what was your
I
third?
would say third would be Affleck, and then
Over Bell?
Over Bell. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know,
all right.
Because Batman's not real. Christopher Nolan made Batman real.
Yeah.
I like the way.
You like a campier Batman?
No. I like how Batman is supposed to be fake, and Ben Affleck made a fake Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but that Batman killed.
Yeah, like he should.
He used guns.
He should use
Batman
guns.
doesn't use guns to protect his city.
If he's gotta, he should do it.
No.
Whatever.
Get the Punisher.
Whatever does the best for the most amount of people, Buck.
Nope. Not how Batman does it.
Maybe those were rubber bullets.
Yeah, Buck.
Yeah, they weren't.
So did we get your third?
No, we haven't.
Oh, Christian Bale then.
Okay.
Yeah, so Conroy, Keaton,
Yeah.
Bale.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
you did say Bell third. Yeah.
I agree with that. We do have some comments because we had posted this. Who did it best? It wasn't open to the movies and stuff. Of course, Kevin Conroy wasn't in the mix, so some of our friends and fans and listeners would maybe want to throw him in there had they had the chance. But Joshua Rosino says hands down Bell, then Keaton. Louis Belia, do you know who that is? Am I saying the name right? I hope not. Or I hope I am, but yup, agreed. And then Ebony Adams says Keaton is my Batman. James Wall, bat nipples forever. LLL, just kidding, Keaton. David Garrett. I used to do a show with David Garrett here in the city. I love David. He says Keaton for me, but Keaton directed by Nolan wouldn't have worked. It had to be Keaton and Burton. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that he would have taken a different approach.
Yeah.
Given a different direction, would produce a much different Batman.
Right.
Okay, I got a question. So in the first Batman movie, Keaton kind of went crazy whenever Joker came to his house.
Yeah.
You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
Let's get nuts.
Because I'm not a huge Batman fan, so does he ever do that in like the comics?
Here's the thing, with 80 years of Batman, sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's not, and this is definitely part of Bruce Wayne's persona. Like the current Bruce Wayne, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I felt like in the movie it served the purpose of he was
Right.
trying to create a little bit of a distraction.
Right.
And in that scene, he's even talking about, when you're this one different guy,
Yeah.
and to some other people you're a different guy, and you're not really yourself. And then he goes and does that.
Okay.
Dr. Crane says Keaton has yet to be bested. I love it's a professor of my that I used to have, Guy Crane, but I love it, Dr. Crane. He was actually on the show, remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Christine Lee, do you know that chick?
Yeah. I think she's my wife.
Oh, okay. She said, I like Keaton and Clooney because I love how cheesy the 90s were. Chris Stum, why is Clooney even on this list? Worst Batman ever, but it's Bale for me. Brett Smith says Bale. David Rameri says Keaton. Caleb Arnold says Keaton. And Roger Lehman says Keaton, but he could have played a good villain too, which he did.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man.
Vulture.
And then Jerry Decker says Adam West. So he's the only one who picked Adam West as the best one.
So it seems like Bell is the winner.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Keaton. I think there was more Keaton.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Keaton.
Yeah.
So my buddy Josh Wright is always defending, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
Uh-huh.
He says if you watch all of the Adam West Batman movies, like you marathon those and then you watch those movies, they feel like they're the modern interpretation of.
Right.
Okay.
And it was like, when you look at it through that lens, they're not awful. I was like, I'm going to have to take your word for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not rewatching those.
No. But I mean, it's okay. That actually gives some validation for those existing.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk too much about this, but Ben Affleck recently went to rehab. And I don't know, because I'm hearing a lot of rumors about people who could play the Batman and Matt Reeves. So is Ben Affleck officially out now?
I don't think officially.
I mean, and these are all rumors, but I'm going to throw out a couple people I've heard, and I'd like to hear what you have to think. Kit Harington from Game of Thrones as Batman.
That sounds like a star power grab. I think that he's only getting the job because they're like, Game of Thrones is about to be back on, so
Yeah. I would say maybe a young Batman.
Yeah, maybe young, or I even think if for some reason we had an older Dick Grayson or something.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I don't think he's imposing enough.
No, I would say Nightwing for sure if they were going to do anything.
He doesn't look imposing there.
No, I can take him.
He doesn't even look imposing on Game of Thrones.
Oh, I love him on Game of Thrones.
No, I'm not saying that he's not like bad or anything, but like when I see Jon Snow, I don't see Batman.
True. I didn't either. I was like, I don't know.
But yeah, like you said, like Dick Grayson, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he doesn't look like he's 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
Like Batman's the brick.
Another one that got mentioned, and people
House.
said, house. Someone said maybe he would make a better Nightwing was Ryan Gosling. And I was like, I don't see him for either of those.
Here's the thing. Ryan Gosling, I think, would have the time of his life with it.
Yeah.
And I think that he would bring everything that he would want everyone. Like, he would know what everyone would want out of it and would bring that.
Right.
Because, like he understands that, he's a pretty boy actor.
Right.
But he's going to bring his talent and do everything he can with it.
Right.
Like every time they're like, hey, what's your favorite thing you've ever done? Every
Mouse
interview, he's like young Hercules.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah,
Yes.
he brings it up every single. He was like, I got to act like I was fighting dragons. It was amazing. I had the best time.
I was just on Facebook recently and saw like some of the worst like superhero like 90s or like shows and stuff, and that was one of them, Young Hercules. I was like, I totally forgot he was in that.
Oh yeah, but it's his favorite thing that he's ever done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I really love Ryan Gosling in a lot of his movies. I just don't see that. Another one that I'm not a big fan of this either, Jake Gyllenhaal. But it gets thrown out there a lot.
No,
he's not Batman. Like he kind of looks like he's been hit in the head. Like Ryan Gosling looks
there
like
was that Southpaw movie.
Well, but like Ryan Gosling has, I don't know, like you look at him and there's more of an intelligence behind the eyes. Jake Gyllenhaal looks like he is whatever he's thinking is his absolute most current thought. Like he's not thinking about anything from earlier in the day. He's not thinking about what he's about to do.
And Jake Gyllenhaal, again, I've enjoyed many of his movies. Nightcrawler, he was kind of creepy in that.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
But I just don't see him as Batman. So
No.
I don't know who is out there that I would pick right now today, but it wouldn't be those three.
No.
That's just my opinion. Let's circle back to Keaton for just another moment, though.
Okay.
I've heard this idea a few times, and I think it's great. Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
With the old Keaton.
Hands
Please.
down, definitely.
Yeah. Why can't that get done?
Oh my god.
Man, I saw a fan art deal that was like back in 2012 or 13, and it had Batman Beyond 2015. I was like, if they make that movie, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would love it.
Kit Harington as Batman Beyond?
Terry McGinnis, I can see that.
He's a little old for that, I think.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, I really wish that they would do that. And since we got Flashpoint made, kind of, is that still happening?
I don't know.
I don't know. But they did it because we kept begging for it. Maybe this will happen now.
Maybe.
Someday, before we die, they'll make a Batman Beyond, and we'll be like, we made that happen. All right, let's go ahead. We were kind of talking about the top 3 Jokers, but really, I want to open it up to your top 3 villains in the Batman movies. But of course, my first 2 are Jokers, and I'll just give you my top 3 right now in the order. It'd probably be Jack Nicholson Joker. Just I don't know. I have it tattooed on my arm. I love him.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger Joker, and then I almost want to go with no. Although I wanted to, if I was going to be able to make it a Batman day, I almost went with a Jared Leto Joker costume. But I want to go with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
I love Danny DeVito, and that movie was crazy, like you said. But I thought he was really good as the Penguin. Like I can't ever picture anybody else as the Penguin.
No, he is kind of penguin-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Buck. Let's go your top 3.
I'd go Jack Nicholson Joker, Liam Neeson, Ra's al Ghul,
Oh yeah,
or Ra's
yeah,
al Ghul.
that's good. Yeah.
Man, a third. Man, just for the dumb voice and everything that we get to do after Bane, like Tom Hardy's
Bane.
He's
Yes.
yeah. Because oh man, I just love it so much. It's so dumb.
It was hard for me not to put Tom Hardy as Bane in there in my top 3, but he'd be in my top 5.
Yeah, because I mean it's definitely the worst of all the Nolan movies, but I just love it. I mean honestly, how's this? I'll put in Talia.
Talia.
God, what was her name? That the actress that played her. I forget, but
Ooh, I can't remember either.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I'd have to say though, Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face was awesome too.
He was, yeah.
I was so mad that we didn't get more of him, really. And then I kind of love Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Like, that was not a great movie. But
Marion Cotillard.
Thank you. He wasn't the greatest movie,
No.
but
I think he was the right choice. I think that
Yes.
he was poorly directed and
Yeah.
poorly written. Yeah.
what'd you think about Arnold as Mr. Freeze? Okay, Cameo, give me your top 3.
I was going to put that in just because, but no.
Tommy Lee Jones?
No. I would have to say, since I did, nobody has done a good Joker than Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill's my first.
he is a great Joker.
Then Heath Ledger. No, sorry. Nicholson. And then Heath Ledger. But I was going to say Jim Carrey would be my 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, Buck?
Oh,
What'd you think about him?
He was so terrible. Again, like there's a great actor.
Who was the worst?
Who's the worst? Like in all of the Batman movies?
Yeah.
Oh, Uma Thurman. No, the guy who played Bane the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever that stunt double was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot even the Uma Thurman. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because that was a terrible Bane.
Yeah, I mean, like, Arnold, at least, he hemmed it up. Like he was like, okay, I'm supposed to show up and be like, hey, who killed the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
I say, yeah,
Right. Those ice puns was too much. It was too much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How often do you use them?
Let's chill.
Yeah.
All right, here in just a second, we're going to talk about some of your favorite Batman and Spider-Man comics and also what's new this week. But before that, I want to tell you about my friend Adam at Paint and Cheers. They're in the Plaza District, Oklahoma City's newest and brightest arts district. It's perfect for date night, ladies' night, and large parties. Paint and Cheers was voted OKC's best place for a grown-ups party by the Oklahoma Gazette. So it's going to be a good time. You can go out there, paint, drink, be merry. Reserve your seats now at paintandcheers.com. And you don't even have to be able to color in the lines. If you're like me and you're not very artistic, you'll still walk out with a painting that you'll love and be proud of. So Adam will help you find your creative, artistic side while you paint, drink, and be merry. So have as much fun as humanly possible at Paint and Cheers. Reserve your seats right now at paintandcheers.com. All right, it's now time for my favorite segment. Oh, Buck, yeah! Woo, 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 woo! So, Buck, owner, operator of New World Comics, comic aficionado,
Yeah,
expert.
You could say that, I guess. I've read a few.
Inventor of Batman Day. So I wanted to ask you because I have a few favorites too, but because Batman was kind of like I've read more Batman than anything. But I was interested to see what your top 3 Batman comics were, and I didn't know. Are you kind of limited to like just single issues or
No, if you're telling a Batman story, you are using the comic book format to get that idea out into the world. Mm-hmm. So if it's limited to an issue or 5 issues, 10 issues, a whole series, whatever it needs to be to tell that story, that is up for grabs here. Okay. So this is all encompassing.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And there are some that are like easy gimmies. Like Batman Year One and Batman Dark Knight Return. They're good, but I don't think that they're necessarily the most representative of Batman.
Okay, sure.
So I'm going to start off with a little-known series from the 2000s, Batman Gotham Knights.
Okay.
The issue 18 happens soon after the earthquake in Gotham, and Batman's really down on everything, and he's just kind of having a bad time. And the penny in the Batcave is submerged underwater because it fell. Mm-hmm. During the earthquake, so he calls up Aquaman, and he's just having the worst time ever, and just bitching about everything here and there, and just it's the worst. Aquaman jumps down the hole, gets the penny, throws it up, sets it down, and says, "Bruce, next time you want to hang out, man, I'll bring some beer. You didn't have to call me to do that. You could have done this."
Right.
And it was just kind of this really nice moment of Batman doesn't realize that he needs people, but he will call on people, not realizing that he needs them for one thing, but ask them another.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was that is such a great insight to who Batman is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, my favorite Batman moment,
okay,
happens in Grant Morrison's JLA.
Oh, sure.
From, I think it's 97 or 98. Issues 1 through 4 tells the invasion of the White Martians. It's where we first see that that they are a thing that for the longest time we thought that there were only green Martians, but the evil White Martians come and
Brad.
Yeah, they come and start systematically taking down all the superheroes, and they capture the Justice League and. It looks like they've all but won, and they notice that they haven't got Batman, and they're like, it doesn't really matter. We don't really need him. He's just a human anyway. Mm-hmm. And he gets one of them, and he says, here's your downfall. You all thought that I was absolutely nothing, and I realized that 14 cents worth of matches can take down your entire fleet.
Right. Yeah.
And he defeats he's the one guy who defeats all of them.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I always loved about Batman, he's not, he doesn't have superpowers.
No.
But he always has a way. He might even get beat up the first time.
Well,
but he figures out a way.
Right. His superpower is persistence.
Yeah.
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 And that he's rich.
That helps.
So that does factor into my all-time favorite Batman story.
Number 1.
Yeah, and this is
One.
This is me reading just thousands and thousands and thousands of Batman stories, and I've yet to find anything that's truly topped this. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, issues 16 through 20, Batman Venom. Now, this is the introduction to the drug that Bane gets hooked on.
Right.
The story starts out with this boulder from a bridge collapsing, this bridge collapsing, this boulder pinning this little girl underwater. Batman dives down and tries to lift it, and he's not strong enough, and she dies.
Right.
And he's devastated.
Right.
Because, it's Batman early in his career, and, and he's, thinks that he's got everything figured out, and no, he's just not physically strong enough. So he he gets that exact boulder, weighs it, figures out how much it is, and needs to be able to lift that. Like he says, man, if I could just lift that, then I can go forward with everything. And he just can't hit that weight. Mm-hmm. So he tries everything. He tries different exercises, tries different regimens, tries, different everything. And then he stumbles across Venom. And it makes him so strong. And it makes him sharper and better and faster. And,
right.
Makes fun noises when he jumps. And No. But, he gets hooked on it. Mm-hmm. And then it changes his personality. And then he has Alfred lock him in the cave. And then it's then the story of Batman kicking a drug addiction that it would kill most people, but like he's just so determined to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And for me, it's the most Batman story.
That's cool.
Just a couple of my favorites off the top of my head. Or I'm kind of looking on my Kindle though too. The Hush, I really liked that one a lot. I mean that one you get like everybody, all the villains. So that one was fun. This one, it's the New 52, The Death of the Family.
Yeah, the volume 3.
Yeah. I love the art in that, and I just love that.
Greg Capullo is amazing.
Yeah, that was just awesome. And then I'd also have to put on there. What was the other one? I was like, I don't know. Can you put The Killing Joke in there?
Yeah, I mean it's Batman's there, and
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's more of a Joker story, but
yeah. But since it's in the Batman universe, and I love that one, I'm going to put it up there too. So, okay, so Buck, before we get out of here, well, we got two more things to talk about. Really,
Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man, because that's one thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I've only seen Spider-Man on the cartoons back when I was little, and the movies. I never really got into the comic books. And it is something that I would love to read more. So tell us what some of your top 3 Spider-Man comics are.
So the one comic book that everyone kind of keeps going back to is Amazing Spider-Man issue 33, drawn and more or less written by the amazing Steve Ditko. Who just passed. Right. There's a scene in it where Spider-Man gets trapped by rubble, and he can't lift it, and he's just done. And he's thinking about all the things that are important and things that wouldn't get done without him, and just takes realizes his responsibility and pushes through and overcomes this the greatest obstacle that is caught him thus far.
Which was an Easter egg in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay, I was going to say, I felt like that was represented in one of the movies. So
right, and they've done it in most of the cartoons, and they've done it. I mean, it's a thing that everyone kind of goes back to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Another one that I absolutely love is the final issue of the last series of Amazing Spider-Man 801.
That was good.
It follows a guy who got saved by Spider-Man, and it shows just the really cool lives that Spider-Man has touched every step of the way that he saved someone.
Right.
Because it's so he saved this guy, and look at how this guy being around has affected everyone else throughout all this time. And it's, man, this is, look how important Spider-Man is.
Yeah, and because this guy that he saved, was it his wife that was pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he was telling, wasn't it his daughter or his niece or something? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's pretty cool because he's it's basically almost narrated him talking to his daughter or niece, whoever.
I think it's a niece, but
okay.
yeah, because he was on the way to go get cigarettes, and Spider-Man.
Yeah, somebody was trying to rob the store, and I think he tried to say, "Hey, man, don't do that." And, and then the guy was like, "You shut your mouth," blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it's absolutely one of the best Spider-Man stories I've read in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
And Spider-Man was in maybe 3 panels.
Okay, and what was your last one?
The last one. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, issue 248. It's the kid who collects Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
So the narrative to it is that there's a writer at the Daily Bugle who's writing about this kid who collects Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And this is set in, in the 80s, so it's there was no internet or anything like that. Yeah. So it's this kid who collects every Spider-Man newspaper article, watches any news clip whatsoever. He'll go out and find webbing. He'll find bullets from the crime scene, that kind of stuff. Kid loves Spider-Man, and this kid so badly wants to meet Spider-Man, and then halfway through the story, Spider-Man knocks on this kid's window and comes inside and sits down and has a very frank talk with the kid, and it gets to the point where the kid looks at him and says, "Hey, who are you?" He says, "I'm Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He says, "No. Who are you underneath the mask? What do you do?" And he says, "Oh." He stops, thinks about it, and he takes off his mask and he says, "I'm actually Peter Parker. I do the photography for the Daily Bugle. I do all this, and the kid's like, "Oh, wow." And, Spider-Man says, "All right, that's all the time I really have. I really wish that I could spend more time with you.
Right.
But I've got to be on my way." And he puts on the mask and leaves. And then the last bit of the text in it was the ending the article saying, that the little boy had terminal cancer.
Oh. Okay, I was going to say they did that in the animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a little girl, though.
So, this will get a little deep. We got invited to the OK Kids Corral, with kids with terminal cancer. Mm-hmm. There was a little boy that willed himself to get better. Like he was so sick with cancer that he was blind and deaf and just.
Oh, wow.
We were told that Spider-Man was his absolute favorite. Like, mm-hmm. Spider-Man, mm-hmm. And about a month before, they found a way to tell him that he was going to meet Spider-Man. Right?
Wow, yeah.
So we brought out Spider-Man, and the kid that was playing Spider-Man was great.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Read to him, did all this. This kid willed himself better enough to meet Spider-Man, hang out with him, and had the best time.
Wow.
Like this kid had Spider-Man shirt, Spider-Man shoes. He had a he had a Superman wallet that they wrote Spider-Man underneath the S. So everything was decked out. So the wheelchair that he was in was painted red and blue with a little black webbed. It was amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and this kid willed himself to meet Spider-Man, and then 3 days later he passed. But, it was one of those that wow.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool.
Like I said, when I was young, watching the Spider-Man cartoons when I was young, I didn't really, he might not have been a teenager in that cartoon, because I never really picked up on that. But as I've come to, know more about Spider-Man and stuff, that's what I always thought was cool and relatable to a lot of young people, is that he is young, you know, and having to deal. And, he's not the only young superhero, but he might be the biggest.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely the most relatable.
Yeah. So my top 3 Spider-Man in the movies, actors, is Tom Holland in Spider-Man Homecoming, Tom Holland in Avengers Infinity War, and Tom Holland in
Far From Home,
Civil War.
Which hasn't came out yet.
So there's my top 3. Okay, Buck. All right, so let's finish. Oh, Buck, yeah. All right. You telling us what is going to be released this week.
Okay, well, to go with the super heavy-handed Spider-Man stuff, this week we have Champions issue 24, which actually deals with Miles Morales.
Nice.
He's actually dealing with a school shooting. Now,
wow.
Here's the thing. He left school to go be a superhero, and while he was gone, that tragedy happened.
Wow. So
it's him dealing with the horrors of that.
And what do you think about that? Because sometimes I see some TV shows and stuff where there are the school shootings, and it always makes me feel real uncomfortable.
See, with this, it takes that. Mm-hmm. It's the the things that you would think that he would jump out, be able to do whatever. But this takes a very candid approach to it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Because sometimes I feel like it's exploitative.
Yeah, this is definitely not. This
Awesome.
this is incredibly well done.
Awesome. I can't wait to read that. Actually, that's pretty cool. Okay, and so this is available. As of when this airs, probably Thursday, it'll be available now. So
Right.
okay, awesome.
All right, now for some levity, we have Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's
How
written.
does that work?
Well, it's takes all the characters and puts them in different situations, and then it tells a little story up front about the satellite of love and all that. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and it's written by everyone involved with the show.
Really?
Yeah.
So are they taking real comics, past comics?
No, they're
okay.
No, the first story is essentially just them doing their thing.
Because I thought I saw some different artwork though.
Right. The other one puts them into like comic book situations and
Awesome.
comic stories. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Is this new?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the very first issue.
Awesome. That's cool. I didn't know that there was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 comic coming. That's pretty awesome. Okay, and then what else?
Then the final and
Ooh, I've been waiting.
honestly
Can't
probably
wait.
the most important comic
Yeah.
Of course.
ever.
Of course.
Fantastic Four.
Nice.
Issue 2.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Man, it feels like it's been so much longer than a month.
I know. And have you got to peek through it yet?
Not yet, but see, that's the issue that I savor. Like every page, every panel. It's
Yeah.
just, oh man.
Oh, Buck. Got to tell you, they all died.
Spoiler.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, Buck.
Wouldn't be the first time.
That cameo spoiled something or that they all died?
no, because last
Both.
time they died, we got Ghost Rider and Spider-Man and Wolverine and Hulk to all team up. And
Here's what needs to happen. Marvel needs to send us these titanium watches as appreciation for all of our plugs.
No, they need to figure out how to make vibranium. That's what they really need to do.
Yeah, that way you could, like, if somebody's shooting at you, you could be like, bing, bing, bing.
Like Wonder Woman.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, so these are available at New World Comics in Oklahoma City, just south of 63rd Street on Meridian. Yeah.
yeah.
And you got to check out the New World Comics podcast each week. It's a weekly podcast, and it's available at all the same places the Nerds to Men is. But Buck sits down with friends of the shop, people who work here, different guests. I believe this week, Steve Kerr, not the basketball coach.
Right.
Or, recently George Karl was on, not the basketball coach.
I mean, I'm sure that they could coach basketball. And
But you know, the funny thing is,
one way.
when I saw that Steve Kerr posted or tagged us on social media, which is at the Nerds to Men on Instagram, so follow us. And I was like, Steve Kerr was on the show? Brad didn't tell me? Like, what?
He's a big deal, but that's just because he's 6'5".
Yeah. Next week will be Oklahoma City, Phil Jackson. Just kidding.
Who's Phil Jackson?
You don't know who Phil Jackson is.
No.
Do you really not?
What's a Phil Jackson?
He knows.
Sure.
Legendary Chicago Bulls Lakers coach. Phil
Oh, yeah,
Jackson.
that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you really don't?
We're good friends.
I'm just saying, you got an Oklahoma City version of every coach.
How many outs do they get in basketball?
How many outs?
You're fired. All right, but
Which one's a touchdown?
the New World Comics podcast is where you go for none of the sports news and all comic book
Ooh,
talk.
I want a sportscast so badly now.
Oh, you should do one called Sports Balls.
Yeah.
Balls, yeah.
That would actually be a good idea.
That is.
I like
That is
it.
a good idea.
I like it. All right. So New World Comics Batman Day, September 15th, Saturday. And like I say, if you're watching this or listening after that, then it's a year from now. So
Yeah. Sorry.
make sure to enjoy. All right, Buck, thank you so much. As always, we love coming up here and hanging out at the shop. We will be looking for all the Spider-Men that are hidden around here. We encourage everybody to come out to the shop and look. And if you find one, shoot me a picture because it's driving me crazy. Cameo, anything to plug this week for you? Anything going on? Anything big?
Not anything big. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be playing the Spider-Man game though.
Yeah.
I'm like 70% done. So
Are we able to play together now? Now that we have one on the PS4?
I don't know. Is there? Can
know.
there be two Spider-Man?
I could be Miles Morales, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, they do have this this cool Spider-Man skin. It's the comic book version of I think it's Steve Ditko's version.
Okay.
It's pretty dope.
With the armpit webs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I haven't played as of yet, but because each suit has its own like superpower.
Really?
And his is quips. So.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to play as that version.
Right
that's
on.
Perfect.
So yeah, get your Spider-Man game, watch Iron Fist,
Mm-hmm.
come out to Batman Day, because this is where it all began.
Yeah.
New World Comics.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're Nerds the Men. Have a good one.
And keep it nerdy.